For years, rumors of a super-fast spy plane have stirred the world of aviation. Triangular, slender, and allegedly designed to exceed Mach 5, possibly reaching up to Mach 9, it's said to cruise above 100,000 feet, nearly brushing the edge of space to dodge conventional detection and threats. Is this just a myth or military fact? And what's the truth behind the rumored 2026 US Super SR-91 that's now shaking things up again? Join us as we discuss all about this aircraft that has shocked the world. Years ago, a few strange events got people talking about whether the United States was secretly building a super-fast spy plane. It all began during the 1980s when the Pentagon's budget papers had something very unusual. Under the names of the well-known spy planes, the SR-71 Blackbird and the U-2, there was a mysterious word, Aurora. That one word sparked wild guesses. Could it be the name of a secret new aircraft? The rumors got even more interesting a few years later. In the month of August 1989, a man named Chris Gibson was working in the North Sea as an oil exploration engineer. One day, he looked up into the sky and saw something that left him stunned. He said he saw a strange, triangular-shaped aircraft flying in formation with a large KC-135 refueling plane. That plane was also being followed by two F-111s. Chris was convinced he had seen something top secret, possibly the United States' first hypersonic spy plane. People quickly jumped on his story. Was this mystery jet the so-called Aurora? Could the United States already be testing something even faster than the Blackbird? At the time, no one could confirm anything, but the story kept spreading, adding more mystery to the name Aurora. However, by 1996, talk about the mysterious aircraft called Aurora started to fade. This made some people believe it was either just a test plane or had a very short career in the sky. In 2000, journalist Nick Outerside wrote about secret U.S. stealth aircraft in Scotland. He said, based on unnamed sources, that a U.S. base in Machrihanish, Kintyre, was being used for Aurora flights. The runway there is nearly 2 miles long, perfect for testing fast, high-flying jets. Its quiet coastal location also helped keep takeoffs and landings hidden from the public and the press. Outerside added that air traffic controllers in Prestwick spotted strange, fast radar signals. Some believed only a hypersonic jet could explain them. 6 years later, aviation writer Bill Sweetman reviewed 20 years of unusual budget gaps, strange sonic booms, and secret sightings. He believed these signs pointed to Aurora's existence. In fact, while digging into the Air Force's budget, he found a mysterious $9 billion gap, something he felt could match a top-secret project like Aurora. That same year, the British Defense Ministry published a surprising report. It claimed that the United States Air Force had plans to build a brand new aircraft that could fly between Mach 4 and Mach 6. For those who don't know, Mach 1 is the speed of sound, so Mach 4 to 6 would be 4 to 6 times faster than that. That's fast enough to fly across entire countries in just minutes. This report added even more fuel to the fire. People believed that this report was proof that Aurora was real, and that it was now being developed as a next-generation spy plane. Some even guessed it might already be flying test missions high above the Earth, far from public eyes. Despite all the rumors, though, there was still no solid proof that Aurora exists. The United States government had never officially admitted to working on such a plane. Some experts believe the name Aurora was just a code name for a budget item, not a real plane. Others say that even if it did exist, it might have been canceled or turned into a different program. Still, the sightings and the strange budget name keep the story alive. Some believe that technology from the rumored Aurora may have helped shape other future planes or drones. And because the United States has a history of keeping military secrets for decades, it's not crazy to think something could be flying out there without the public knowing. The first real crack in the Aurora theory happened shortly after that budget mention. Yes, Aurora was indeed a code name used by the United States Air Force, but not for a hypersonic jet. According to Ben Rich, the former director of the Skunk Works division at Lockheed Martin, Aurora was simply the code name for the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The B-2 Spirit is one of the most impressive aircraft ever made by the United States. It's a long-range stealth bomber that was first tested in the air back in 1989 and officially joined the U.S. Air Force in 1993. Built by Northrop Grumman, this bomber looks nothing like a regular airplane. It has no tail, no visible body, and is shaped like a giant, smooth wing, a design known as a flying wing. Even though the B-2 is just 69 feet long, which is about the length of a fighter jet, its wings stretch out 172 feet wide, almost as wide as the older, much larger B-52 bomber. This unusual shape helps the B-2 avoid radar detection. Its special shape and materials make it very hard to spot, even when flying over enemy territory. The B-2 is designed to fly into dangerous airspace, hit critical targets, and get out safely, all without being noticed. It can carry up to 40,000 pounds of bombs inside its hidden storage bays. One of the most powerful weapons it can deliver is the GBU-57, a massive bunker buster bomb that can smash deep underground targets. No other U.S. plane can do this job in combat conditions. This bomber was first developed during the Cold War in the 1980s, when the United States wanted a plane that could sneak into the Soviet Union, drop nuclear bombs, and return home without being shot down. To achieve this, engineers gave the B-2 a sleek, curved shape that deflects radar waves. Instead of a tail or vertical fins, it has special flaps on the back edge of its wings that help it turn and stay steady in the air. It also uses a computer system called fly-by-wire to help the pilots control the aircraft. Despite its size, the B-2 only needs 2 people to fly it, a pilot and a mission commander. It's powered by 4 strong jet engines, but it doesn't have afterburners, which helps keep it cooler and less visible to heat-detecting missiles. This also makes it more fuel efficient. The B-2 can fly as fast as 628 miles per hour and travel up to 6,000 nautical miles, that's over 6,900 regular miles, without stopping to refuel. However, it can be refueled in the air, allowing it to fly even farther across the globe. The largest known mission involving the B-2 happened on June 21, 2025, when several of these bombers attacked nuclear sites in Iran, showing the world just how far this aircraft can go and how powerful it can be. The B-2 Spirit holds the title of the most expensive aircraft in the world, with each unit costing over $2 billion. Originally, the plan was to build 132 of them. But after the Cold War ended in the 1990s, the need for such a large fleet diminished. Production was cut down to just 20 operational bombers and 1 test aircraft. Since then, one was lost in a 2008 crash, and another was retired after a runway accident in 2022, leaving 19 B-2s currently in service. Though it was initially designed for nuclear strikes, the B-2's main mission eventually shifted to conventional weapons delivery. Still, its nuclear capabilities remain intact. All operational units are based at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, but these stealth bombers have also launched missions from overseas locations like Guam and Diego Garcia. The B-2's combat record is both extensive and global. It struck targets in Serbia in 1999, in Afghanistan after 2001, and in Iraq in 2003. Throughout the 2010s, the B-2 carried out operations in Libya. More recently, in October 2024, it was used against fortified storage sites in Houthi-controlled Yemen. And in 2025, the aircraft took part in a bold and high-profile mission, striking nuclear facilities deep inside Iran, proving that even decades after its debut, the B-2 remains one of the most capable bombers ever built. Now back to chasing the ghost Aurora. Interestingly, many of those rumors may have started because people were seeing other stealth aircraft that were already flying at the time. One example is the F-117 Nighthawk, a stealth fighter bomber that carried out secret missions for years before the public even knew it existed. This kind of mistaken identity only fueled the belief that a secret hypersonic jet, possibly the Aurora, was out there, hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, a different but very real program began to emerge, the SR-72, often nicknamed the Son of the Blackbird. This aircraft is a concept for a new spy plane that could fly faster than the legendary SR-71 Blackbird. The SR-71 Blackbird, unveiled during the Cold War, was a marvel of engineering. For many years, Lockheed Martin's secret division, Skunk Works, worked on this mysterious aircraft also known as Dark Star. This team is famous for creating powerful top-secret planes, and the SR-72 might be their most advanced one yet. Although the public heard about the project some years ago, the work had already been going on behind closed doors long before that. The main goal was clear: build a plane faster than the SR-71, which was once the world's fastest aircraft. But the new jet wasn't just about speed. Skunk Works wanted it to fly without a pilot, meaning it could carry out dangerous missions without putting anyone's life at risk. Creating such a machine wasn't easy. The engineers had to solve many problems. The jet needed to fly at 6 times the speed of sound, something that pushes both machines and materials to their limits. A few years ago, the engine technology wasn't ready, and the materials needed to survive the extreme heat of hypersonic flight were hard to find. But things changed. Thanks to new computer modeling tools and advanced technology, the engineers were able to design and build the parts they needed. These tools allowed them to test and shape components that would have been impossible to make using older methods. Radar systems struggle to track it. Interceptors can't catch it. For any adversary, it's a ghost in the sky, gone before you even know it was there. What powers such a monster? One of its most groundbreaking features is a dual-mode engine. Unlike traditional jets that rely on a single propulsion system, the SR-72 combines 2 engines into one deadly combination. For lower speeds, like takeoff and early flight, it uses a turbine engine similar to those found in today's military jets. But when it punches into higher altitudes, something incredible happens. At those speeds, the aircraft activates its scramjet engine, a piece of tech that almost sounds like science fiction. This engine uses the jet's own hypersonic velocity to compress air as it races in. That air mixes with fuel and ignites, producing a blistering burst of thrust without any moving parts. The result? An explosive surge that pushes the aircraft faster and higher than anything we've ever built. The Dark Star is built to reach Mach 6, which is 6 times the speed of sound. At this speed, the aircraft becomes almost impossible to catch or detect, flying so fast and high that enemy defense systems can't keep up. However, flying that fast creates huge technical problems. Temperatures on the aircraft's surface can soar to extreme levels, requiring special materials and cooling systems. Lockheed Martin's engineers had to solve these challenges to make sure the plane could survive and perform during such intense flights. Their success proves just how far aerospace technology has come. But flying that fast isn't just about going fast, it's about surviving. At Mach 6, the friction between the aircraft and the air creates temperatures exceeding 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt steel. That's why Lockheed Martin developed entirely new materials for the SR-72. Carbon-based composites and futuristic ceramics that can endure the heat and pressure of true hypersonic flight. Yet speed and survival aren't the only things that make this jet terrifying. One of the most amazing features of the SR-72 is its stealth. Usually a jet flying that fast creates so much heat that it becomes an easy target for infrared sensors. But the designers built special cooling systems and used radar-absorbing materials to keep the plane hidden. This means Dark Star can fly at incredible speeds without being seen by most defense systems. Speed and the stealth are a powerful mix. The SR-72 can fly so fast that today's missile defense systems can't catch it. This makes it nearly impossible to stop. The jet can be used to strike enemy targets or gather intelligence from dangerous areas, all without warning. With its sharp accuracy and ability to move unseen, it could completely change the way wars are fought. For a long time, people thought hypersonic planes were just science fiction. But now, with the SR-72, those dreams are becoming real. One of the most exciting things about the SR-72 is that it's not just a single project, it's a platform for the future. This aircraft could pave the way for more advanced technologies. As new materials are discovered and propulsion systems become more powerful, future aircraft may fly even faster and stay invisible to enemy radar. What we see today with the SR-72 might only be the beginning. There's also the possibility that the SR-72 could lead to the creation of unmanned hypersonic drones. These drones could carry out surveillance missions or even deliver precision strikes deep inside enemy territory, all without risking a pilot's life. The idea of combining hypersonic speed with autonomous technology opens up entirely new possibilities for the future of warfare. More than anything, the SR-72 Dark Star shows us that the sky is no longer the limit. What once seemed impossible, flying at hypersonic speeds, and surviving the journey is now within reach. The aircraft stands as a symbol of what can be achieved when innovation, science, and ambition come together. The most exciting thing about the SR-72 is the potential it holds for future advancements. The Dark Star is not just a one-off project, but it's a platform that could lead to even more advanced technologies in the years to come. As materials and propulsion systems continue to evolve, it's possible that the next generation of hypersonic aircraft will be even faster, stealthier, and more capable than the SR-72. This aircraft represents the cutting edge of what's possible today, but it also serves as a stepping stone for the aerial technologies of tomorrow. Looking forward, this aircraft is just the beginning. The technologies developed for the SR-72 will pave the way for even more advanced hypersonic aircraft in the future. As materials, science, and propulsion systems continue to improve, it's possible that future generations of aircraft will surpass even the capabilities of the Dark Star. The SR-72 serves as a blueprint for what is possible, pushing the boundaries of flight and setting new standards for speed, stealth, and operational flexibility. In 2021, a glimpse of the SR-72's potential emerged when the Air Force released a video of a single-engine flight research aircraft that bore a striking resemblance to the SR-72. While details about the drone's capabilities remain scarce, this video revived interest in the project. Aviation fans believe that Lockheed was getting closer to a working prototype. According to current plans, the first flight of the SR-72 is expected to happen this year, 2025. If all goes well, it could become fully operational by 2030. When this happens, it will represent the start of a new era in aerial dominance. The SR-72 is designed to fly faster and higher than the legendary SR-71 Blackbird. On top of that, it will bring new abilities for long-range surveillance and high-speed strike missions, something no aircraft in history has achieved at this level. Still, this kind of breakthrough technology comes with a price. There are growing concerns about whether the United States can continue funding such an expensive program while also supporting other advanced projects. For example, the sixth-generation, next-generation air dominance fighter and the B-21 Raider stealth bomber are both costly programs already in development. Balancing budgets while maintaining military superiority will be a major challenge. Funding, engineering expertise, and political support will all be crucial. However, if these hurdles are successfully cleared, the SR-72 has the potential to become a game-changing aircraft in the fields of reconnaissance and strike operations. It would represent a major leap forward in aerial warfare, using cutting-edge hypersonic technology to ensure American strategic dominance in the skies. In many ways, this aircraft could define the future of high-speed aerial missions for decades to come. Whether the SR-72 will live up to its promises remains to be seen. But if it does, it will not only break records, it could change the way modern warfare is fought, giving the United States unmatched speed, power, and precision in the skies. The Aurora's capabilities have redefined the U.S.'s hypersonic edge. Once set by the legendary SR-71 Blackbird, the benchmark of speed now points to the elusive SR-91 Aurora. Rumored to be a next-generation reconnaissance and strike platform capable of Mach 5 and beyond, it signals America's drive for uncontested air dominance amid rising global competition. But could the Aurora itself be a calculated distraction, masking an even more advanced program the United States is quietly developing? And if the Aurora is real, can it outpace rival systems racing to the same goal? Join us as we examine America's rapid progress in hypersonic technology. For decades, rumors about the mysterious aircraft, Aurora, have fueled one of aviation's most enduring legends, a tale that sits at the crossroads of fact, rumor, and Cold War secrecy. Supposedly envisioned as the successor to the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, itself the fastest air-breathing aircraft ever to take to the skies, the Aurora was said to push the very limits of aerospace engineering. The SR-71, with its razor-sharp silhouette and unmatched record, could sprint across the sky at a blistering Mach 3.5, which translates to more than 2,700 miles per hour. It was equipped with the most advanced sensors, radar, and cameras for its spy missions. It flew very fast and very high, allowing it to avoid threats. If a missile were detected, it would simply speed up to escape. Yet even as this remarkable aircraft retired into history, speculation grew that a new machine had quietly taken its place. A machine far faster, far higher, and wrapped in deeper secrecy. Known by some as the SR-91, the Aurora was rumored to achieve a staggering Mach 5, leaping into a realm once reserved for experimental spaceplanes. The key, according to aviation circles, was the adoption of revolutionary propulsion technologies such as pulse detonation engines and scramjets, systems that could gulp down air at impossible speeds and turn the sky itself into raw fuel. Such engines would allow the aircraft to skim the edge of space, soaring at altitudes where no enemy fighter could climb and where even the most advanced surface-to-air missiles would be rendered useless. If true, this meant the Aurora could spy, strike, or vanish at will, rewriting the rulebook of modern reconnaissance. But such extraordinary performance came with extraordinary cost, and rumors swirled that the program's price tag had ballooned past $2 billion by the late 1980s, a figure that only reinforced suspicions about a black project hidden deep within the Pentagon's shadowy budgets. The when of Aurora's story became as fascinating as the what. In March 1990, Aviation Week in Space Technology dropped a bombshell, reporting that the name Aurora had accidentally surfaced in a 1985 U.S. defense budget line item, a cryptic $455 million allocation for black aircraft production in fiscal year 1987. From there, rumor intelligence, RUMINT, as insiders like to call it, took flight, spreading faster than any official denial could contain. Eyewitnesses added fuel to the fire, especially in Nevada, home to Nellis Air Force Base, Creech Air Force Base, and the ever-mysterious Area 51. Locals claimed to spot a strange aircraft streaking over the Mojave Desert at dawn, carving contrails that looked like donuts on a rope, a bizarre formation no known jet could produce. Others swore they heard an engine sound unlike anything before. They described it vividly as the sky itself tearing apart. In August 1989, Chris Gibson, a veteran of the Royal Observer Corps and an authority in aircraft recognition, spotted a triangular aircraft being refueled midair by a tanker and flanked by two unidentified U.S. fighters while stationed on an oil rig in the North Sea. He later admitted there was no precedent for what he had seen and that the sight felt like something he was never meant to witness. Further sightings over Britain in 1993 were later dismissed as a Russian rocket re-entry, but the legend refused to die. Even into the 2000s, official reports hinted at U.S. Air Force plans for hypersonic craft capable of Mach 4 to 6, echoing Aurora's whispered specifications. As the saying goes, the proof is in the pudding, but when it comes to the Aurora, no one has ever been served so much as a spoonful. For all the decades of speculation, not a shred of concrete evidence has ever emerged to confirm that the SR-91 spy plane truly existed. Mark Piscopas of the National Interest summed up the riddle bluntly, noting that no solid proof supports the existence of an SR-91 prototype and that it remains uncertain whether the aircraft ever even existed beyond rumor and imagination. According to his analysis, the government has consistently denied that such a project was ever built, and to date, no hard evidence has surfaced of a prototype ever taking flight. Instead, the Aurora saga seems to be a phenomenon fueled as much by cultural fascination as by technical possibility, a story kept alive by a hunger for Cold War-era secrets and a public appetite for legends of aircraft that could do the impossible. Over time, these rumors have often intersected with other theories about hidden military projects, UFO encounters, and extraterrestrial technology, weaving the Aurora into the larger tapestry of speculative aerospace myths that captivate enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Yet even if the Aurora never materialized, its legend has arguably paved the way for discussions about what comes next. The attention once lavished on the SR-91 has since shifted to another proposed successor to the iconic SR-71 Blackbird, the Lockheed SR-72, nicknamed the Son of Blackbird. Unlike its predecessor, which relied on a cockpit crew with nerves of steel, the SR-72 is designed to be reusable, operating autonomously at hypersonic speeds. Stretching over 100 feet in length, its silhouette will recall the sleek lines of the Blackbird. As other nations were developing anti-satellite weapons, area denial technologies, and fast intercepting jets, the US recognized the urgent need for a new spy plane. This new aircraft had to be exceptionally fast, enabling it to enter protected airspace, conduct observations, capture images, and even potentially strike a target long before adversaries could detect or intercept it. These capabilities were beyond the reach of fifth-generation fighter jets or any known space programs. The SR-72 solves this problem. This top-secret project has been in development since 2007. However, engineers at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works had likely initiated research and development many years prior. Notably, NASA has invested $1 billion in developing the SR-72, potentially contributing groundbreaking technologies that could further elevate its capabilities. As a result of these advancements, the son of Blackbird is expected to come with a price tag of around $1 billion, since it has a projected top speed of Mach 6, which is more than 2 times the speed of the Blackbird. It can also reach this remarkable speed while flying at an altitude of 80,000 feet, equivalent to 3 times the height of Mount Everest. This implied that this aircraft could traverse the globe in just a single hour. The extraordinary velocity of the son of Blackbird is made possible by a combined-cycle turbofan scramjet engine, a technology in which Lockheed Martin has accumulated 3 decades of experience. Unlike the Aurora, this project has been openly teased by Lockheed Martin and reported on in official contexts, though it too is wrapped in its own cloak of secrecy. The SR-72 is expected to use cutting-edge propulsion systems that blend turbine engines with scramjets. An aircraft that must accelerate smoothly from takeoff to hypersonic velocity cannot rely on conventional engines alone. Engineers have turned to a turbine-based combined cycle system, or TBCC. It is a marriage of 2 distinct technologies, the traditional turbofan engine and the supersonic combustion ramjet, more commonly called the scramjet. This engine is designed to transition seamlessly from subsonic to supersonic and then into hypersonic flight. The turbofan would carry the aircraft from the runway through subsonic and into transonic speeds, at which point the scramjet would ignite, devouring supersonic airflow and propelling the vehicle deep into the hypersonic regime above Mach 5. This dual-mode system is not simply clever engineering, it is a necessity. No single engine design can efficiently cover the entire flight spectrum from takeoff to hypersonic cruise. And the TBCC represents a solution that transforms theory into a practical possibility. Such a leap sounds straightforward in theory, but in practice it demands near-miraculous precision. The airflow must be managed, compressed, and ignited in fractions of a second, while the engines endure pressures and heat that would destroy ordinary systems. Alongside propulsion lies the monumental challenge of thermal management. At speeds exceeding Mach 6, the aircraft's skin would be scorched by temperatures hotter than a blast furnace, requiring materials and cooling systems that defy conventional design. Every bolt, panel, and rivet must withstand conditions more brutal than re-entry from orbit, a feat that illustrates the razor's edge on which this program balances. Financially, the task is no less daunting. Advancing from experimental concepts to a true operational aircraft requires billions in investment, and the partnership between government and industry must remain ironclad if this vision is to become reality. While the alignment with U.S. Air Force goals for hypersonic capability adds urgency and direction, the SR-72's fate ultimately rests on whether the resources and political will can keep pace with its engineering ambition. Should it succeed, the result will not merely be another reconnaissance aircraft, but a transformative weapon of strategy, an aircraft able to gather intelligence or deliver strikes before an enemy can even respond, rewriting the doctrine of air warfare. Yet beyond its technical marvels, its very existence could alter global military dynamics. Rival powers aware of its potential may accelerate their own hypersonic programs, sparking a new race where minutes and miles per second become the currency of power. If realized, such performance would make the SR-72 not merely faster than the Blackbird, but a revolutionary leap forward in reconnaissance and strike capability, operating in a realm where time and distance become almost meaningless. Its purpose is clear: to deliver vital surveillance in environments where conventional manned aircraft would face overwhelming risk, slipping through advanced air defense networks at such velocity and altitude that interception would be virtually impossible. Time-sensitive intelligence, the kind that could alter the course of a battlefield or expose hostile actions in progress, would be delivered in minutes rather than hours, giving decision-makers unprecedented situational awareness. Such a capability would mark a revolution in aerial warfare and intelligence gathering. While satellites provide unmatched global coverage, they are predictable in orbit and vulnerable to anti-satellite weapons. Drones and manned aircraft can be agile, but they are increasingly threatened by dense layers of radar, surface-to-air missiles, and interceptors. The SR-72, however, would soar beyond these constraints, offering on-demand access to hostile territory with a speed that compresses distance and a survivability profile that no adversary can match. For the Skunk Works engineers, the goal is nothing less than redefining strategic reconnaissance for the 21st century, providing the United States with an aircraft that ensures no threat remains unseen, no matter how well defended. Whether or not the Aurora spy plane ever truly existed, the SR-72, son of Blackbird, stands as the tangible answer to decades of whispered speculation. If this aircraft takes to the skies, it will not simply continue the Blackbird's legacy, it will ignite a new era of hypersonic dominance. At its projected performance, this hypersonic jet could cross from the continental United States to Europe or Asia in roughly 1.5 hours, a feat that would have been unimaginable during the Cold War. Such blistering mobility would allow commanders to see, decide, and act with unprecedented speed, turning intelligence gathering and strike missions into near-instant responses. In an era when seconds can define victory or defeat, the ability to deliver eyes or weapons anywhere in the world in under 2 hours represents not just an advantage, but a revolution. Yet the dream of the SR-72 is tethered by formidable obstacles. Hypersonic flight is one of the most complex challenges in aerospace, demanding breakthroughs in propulsion, thermal management, and advanced materials. Sustaining speeds above Mach 5 generates heat levels that can melt conventional alloys, demanding innovations that can withstand and disperse unimaginable thermal stress. The turbine-based combined cycle propulsion, which blends turbofan and scramjet engines, is a marvel on paper, but building it into a reliable, reusable system is a task that will push the limits of engineering. Financial challenges also loom large. While preliminary discussions have taken place between Lockheed Martin and U.S. government stakeholders, full-scale funding for demonstrator aircraft and engine prototypes has yet to be secured. The price of developing such cutting-edge technology will inevitably run into billions. And in a defense budget where priorities compete fiercely, the SR-72 must continually justify its strategic value. Even so, the jet's pathway mirrors the U.S. Air Force's larger hypersonic roadmap, which places hypersonic strike and reconnaissance at the center of 21st century warfare. Tentative plans envision the SR-72 entering service around the year 2030. But that date depends on solving the technical and budgetary riddles that stand in the way. The urgency is clear. Advanced integrated air defense systems, such as Russia's S-500 or China's HQ-19, grow more capable each year, threatening to deny U.S. forces access to contested airspace. Traditional aircraft, no matter how stealthy, remain vulnerable when exposed too long to these lethal networks. The SR-72's greatest defense would be its speed, which minimizes the window of detection and interception. By compressing time on target to mere minutes, the aircraft would not just dodge defenses, it would render them obsolete. Yet even as concepts like the SR-72 push boundaries, America's gaze is fixed on the next leap forward. That vision now takes shape at DARPA under the Next Generation Responsive Strike Program, or NEXT-RS. Unlike the stealth bombers that have defined American air power since the 1970s, NEXT-RS is envisioned as a reusable hypersonic craft that blends intelligence gathering with strike capabilities. To aviation enthusiasts, this represents a bold departure. Instead of hiding in radar shadows, this aircraft would embrace sheer velocity, soaring past Mach 5, the threshold of hypersonic flight. That kind of speed could slice the famous SR-71's Los Angeles to Washington record into pieces, completing the same journey in roughly 40 minutes. For the military, this speed does more than impress. It offers the possibility of delivering weapons or reconnaissance anywhere in the world before an adversary has time to react. The project is planned to follow directly behind the Air Force's next-generation air dominance fighter, the highly secretive program set to produce the first true sixth-generation jet. With NGAD expected to arrive sometime in the 2030s, the timeline for next rest points further into the 2040s. A flying prototype by the end of the next decade is the goal, and the Pentagon's attention already hints that this vision will become more than speculation. Yet speed comes with its own trade-offs. Hypersonic bombers do not blend into radar like the B-1, the B-2, or the soon-to-arrive B-21 Raider. Instead, they slice through the air in designs optimized for efficiency and durability, built to withstand the hellish temperatures generated by skin-searing friction. Such an aircraft would blaze across infrared sensors, lighting up the skies with a heat signature impossible to hide. It would be a phantom of speed, not stealth. This raises difficult questions. Can such a craft survive against modern defenses like Russia's S-400 missile system, whose interceptors boast speeds beyond Mach 10? DARPA's answer may lie in how Next-RS carries its weapons. Rather than swooping directly over enemy territory to drop bombs, it could unleash hypersonic missiles from beyond the 250-mile reach of those defenses. Another possibility, whispered by those who follow these developments, is that the aircraft might push past Mach 5, perhaps even approaching Mach 12, a velocity so blistering that interception becomes nearly impossible. At 100,000 feet, a machine that fast would challenge even the sharpest missile to catch it. The gamble is clear. The Air Force once placed all its chips on stealth, limiting even the B-21 fleet to little more than 100 aircraft, expecting something new to follow. That something is almost certainly Next-RS. If it flies, it will mark a return to the philosophy of speed as survival, carrying forward the Blackbird's torch into a new century of aerial dominance. Yet America is not racing alone. Across oceans, other powers are chasing the same dream, pouring resources into their own versions of hypersonic bombers. The most pressing rival is China, which has already revealed glimpses of its hypersonic ambitions through missile tests and experimental aircraft. The competition is not simply about building faster machines. It is about reshaping the balance of power in the 21st century. Whoever wins the race to field the first operational hypersonic bomber will hold an edge that could define military strategy for decades. But there is a shadow hanging over this American project: the constant tug-of-war between ambition and budget. President Donald Trump once pressed for defense spending cuts, a move that, if fully realized, could weaken the momentum behind Next-RS. History has shown that programs of this scale are fragile, often derailed not by engineering, but by politics. The fear among defense experts is that any delay could give rivals the window they need to surge ahead. Still, the consensus is that America will eventually bring Next-RS into reality. The United States has the experience, the industrial base, and the proven track record of pushing aviation to its extremes. The only uncertainty lies in timing. Will the prototype take to the skies soon enough to outpace global challengers? Or will delays allow China to announce the world's first hypersonic bomber, rewriting the strategic map before America can respond? The US just revealed a hypersonic aircraft that is reportedly faster than the iconic SR-71. Rumored to reach speeds exceeding Mach 5, this advanced aircraft has sent shockwaves across the world. With China and Russia also racing to develop their own hypersonic platforms, the US has begun the development of another mind-blowing aircraft that has taken the global defense community by surprise, sparking fears of a new arms race. Is the SR-91 Aurora truly the fastest jet in the world? What other interesting aircraft is the United States working on? Join us as we unveil the capabilities of the new SR-91, the fastest jet that has never been seen before. The United States is renowned for having more stealth aircraft than any other country in its possession, both in numbers and types. It currently uses 3 known stealth aircraft models and is developing at least 3 more. For each stealth aircraft like the F-22 Raptor, F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, or B-2 Spirit, There are others that never made it to active use. Some were canceled, while others were created for testing new technologies or systems, not for combat. Due to the secretive nature of stealth technology, new stealth aircraft are usually developed in complete secrecy. For instance, the F-117 Nighthawk was in service for years before the US government admitted it existed. Many prototypes, technology demonstrators, and even aircraft intended for service, but later canceled, remain secretive even long after they are retired. The Pentagon often funds the classified development of advanced technologies, commonly known as black programs. Today, the most secretive projects are called special access programs, where information is highly restricted. Within SAPs, there's an even more secret level known as unacknowledged SAPs, where details are so confidential that they are shared only verbally and at the highest government levels. Despite the mystery surrounding these top-secret aircrafts, today we'll explore one of the fastest jets that has ever been developed. And no, it's not the SR-71. The SR-91, also known as Aurora, is the popular name of a hypothesized American reconnaissance aircraft. It is believed that SR-91 Aurora is capable of hypersonic flight at speeds of Mach 5+. The Aurora legend began when reports surfaced that Aurora was accidentally mentioned in the US budget, allocated for black aircraft production. Aviation Week suggested Aurora referred to a group of advanced aircraft rather than just one. Ben Rich, former head of Lockheed's Skunk Works, later mentioned that Aurora was actually the code name for the stealth bomber competition, which led to the B-2 Spirit. As time passed, experts believed the U.S. could develop a Mach 5 aircraft to replace the SR-71 Blackbird. Some people claim to have discovered unaccounted funds in the defense budget, possibly directed toward secret projects. Reports also emerged of unidentified aircraft sightings in California and the UK, featuring strange contrails, sonic booms, and other phenomena. These sightings were often linked to the rumored Aurora aircraft, despite the lack of concrete evidence. An engineer named Chris Gibson reported seeing a triangle-shaped aircraft refueling from a Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, accompanied by F-111 fighter bombers while working in the North Sea. He observed the aircraft and later sketched what he saw. When the sighting was made public, British officials denied knowledge of such a black program, though they admitted they wouldn't be surprised if it existed. Group Captain Tom Eales of the RAF also reported seeing a mysterious aircraft over his house near the Mildenhall USAF base. The engine noise was unlike anything he had heard before, and when he made inquiries, he was told to stop immediately. Eales believed this was a new stealth aircraft called Aurora. Around the same time, there was an incident at Boscombe Down involving an emergency landing of an unknown U.S. aircraft, which was quickly covered and removed with secrecy. A crash at RAF Boscombe Down was later connected to black missions. The site was heavily guarded, and the base was closed to all flights. Some suggested the crash involved a towed missile decoy rather than a secret aircraft. Also in Southern California, a series of unusual sonic booms was detected by sensors tracking earthquakes. These booms didn't match those from the space shuttle or other known aircraft, leading some experts to believe they came from a high-altitude, high-speed aircraft. However, nothing specific tied these events to any particular aircraft, though they fueled the Aurora legend. Now, to a very important question, did the Aurora succeed the SR-71 as the world's fastest aircraft? Well, let's explore the details of the Blackbird. The Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird was a high-speed, high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft designed by Lockheed Corporation's Skunk Works division in the 1960s. It was built for speed and stealth, capable of flying at over Mach 3, which is 3 times the speed of sound, and at altitudes of 85,000 feet, making it one of the fastest and most advanced planes ever created. The SR-71's sleek, black design earned it the nickname Blackbird, and it was also known as Habu in some circles. The Blackbird evolved from the earlier A-12 reconnaissance aircraft, with Clarence Kelly Johnson, a brilliant aerospace engineer, playing a key role in its innovative design. Unlike its predecessor, the SR-71 was longer, heavier, and featured a 2-seat cockpit. It also carried advanced equipment for gathering intelligence, including sensors, radar, and high-resolution cameras. Its primary job was to gather intelligence at speeds and altitudes that made it nearly impossible for enemy forces to intercept. The SR-71 was built to fly at speeds with a two-person crew sitting one behind the other. The pilot in the front cockpit flew the plane, while the reconnaissance officer in the back operated the surveillance systems and navigated the mission. This aircraft was one of the early attempts at stealth design, created to have a small radar signature. The plane was painted a very dark blue, almost black, to help manage its internal heat and blend in with the night sky, earning it the nickname Blackbird. Though the SR-71 had radar countermeasures, its best defense was its incredible speed and altitude, which made it nearly impossible to catch. With its low radar visibility, enemy missiles had very little time to detect, track, and hit the plane. By the time a missile was launched, the SR-71 was often already out of range. Even if a missile managed to get close, the SR-71 could simply speed up, and the missile would run out of power trying to catch up. The plane could also change speed, altitude, and direction, making it hard for enemy radars to lock onto it. The SR-71 flew faster than the Soviet Union's best interceptor at the time, the MiG-25, which also couldn't reach the SR-71's altitude. Throughout its service, no SR-71 was ever shot down. The SR-71 was powered by two powerful engines called Pratt and Whitney J58. These engines were designed to be very efficient at high speeds, especially around Mach 3.2, which was the Blackbird's usual cruising speed. At takeoff, the afterburner provided 26% of the thrust. As the speed increased, the afterburner took over completely, providing all the thrust at Mach 3. The maximum speed of the SR-71 was limited by how hot the air entering the engine could get, with the engine compressor only certified for temperatures up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. To start the SR-71's engines, a special cart with two car engines was used. This cart was placed under the engine and connected to a drive shaft that spun the engine up to 3,200 revolutions per minute, at which point the turbojet could start on its own. Once one engine was started, the cart was moved to the other engine. Later, a quieter pneumatic system was developed for use at main bases, but the old start carts were still used at smaller airfields. This extremely fast aircraft used a special fuel called JP7, which was hard to ignite. To start the engines, a chemical called triethylboron was used. This chemical ignited on contact with air, creating a green flame that was often visible during engine starts. The fuel also helped cool the aircraft, including the pilot and electronics, since an electric starting system wasn't possible due to the limited cooling capacity. On a typical mission, the SR-71 took off with only a partial fuel load to reduce stress on the brakes and tires. It would then climb to 20,000 feet in less than 2 minutes and reach its cruising altitude of 80,000 feet in about 17 minutes, using a third of its fuel. Despite a common myth, the SR-71 didn't refuel immediately after takeoff because of fuel leaks. Rather, refueling was needed because the plane's top speed was only possible with aerial refueling. The SR-71 often needed to refuel in the air during long missions. Supersonic flights usually lasted about 90 minutes before refueling was necessary. Specialized tankers called KC-135Q were used to refuel the SR-71. These tankers had modified refueling boom and special fuel systems to handle the different fuels needed by the SR-71 and the tanker itself. To help pilots during refueling, the SR-71 had a special display that projected a subtle horizon line across the cockpit instruments, giving the pilot clues about the plane's attitude. Northrop Corporation's electronics division, Nortronics, developed an advanced astro-inertial guidance system for the SR-71, based on technology from earlier missile projects. This system corrected navigation errors by tracking stars through a special window in the aircraft's upper fuselage. The ANS used a digital database of stars to navigate accurately, even at the SR-71's high speeds. It could control the plane's altitude, position, and even direct cameras and sensors. The system was so precise that it limited the aircraft's drift to just 1,000 feet off course at Mach 3. The SR-71 carried various sensors and payloads, including advanced cameras, radar systems, and electronic intelligence equipment. These sensors captured high-resolution images and electronic signals during missions. The plane had a range of cameras for different tasks, from wide-area imaging to detailed close-ups, as well as side-looking airborne radar and later a more advanced radar system called ASARS-1. The SR-71 was also equipped with electronic countermeasures to protect against enemy missiles, including jammers that could confuse missile guidance systems. To ensure the crew's safety at 80,000 feet, where regular oxygen masks wouldn't work, the SR-71's pilots and reconnaissance officers wore specialized pressurized suits. These suits were essential for surviving in case of ejection at high speeds and altitudes. The cockpit was pressurized and cooled to keep the crew comfortable, despite the extreme heat generated by the aircraft's Mach 3.2 speeds. The cooling system even used the fuel as a heat sink. During long missions, the crew had access to food and drink through specially designed containers and straws that could be used with their helmets on. This allowed them to stay nourished and hydrated while flying for hours at a time. Despite its retirement, the SR-71 remains a legendary aircraft, holding the world record as the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft, a title it has held since 1976. Its legacy continues with the development of a new UAV, the SR-72, which is expected to take to the skies by 2025. The SR-72, also known as the Son of the Blackbird, is being designed with more advanced capabilities than the Blackbird and will be built with advanced materials like carbon-carbon composites. But it gets even better. These materials can handle more extreme heat than the titanium skin used on the SR-71. Also, as stated earlier, the Son of Blackbird is expected to have great speed, stealth, and versatility. The prototype, if not already in operation, will include advanced avionics and possibly AI-assisted systems for autonomous operations, which earlier hypersonic aircraft did not have. A key feature of the SR-72 is its ability to reach hypersonic speeds up to Mach 6, which is considered to be much faster than the Blackbird's top speed. This speed allows it to outrun missiles and avoid current air defense systems, which have given the United States an advantage in reconnaissance and possible strike missions in heavily defended areas. Lockheed Martin is working with Aerojet Rocketdyne on a special turbine-based combined cycle propulsion system to help the aircraft achieve a cruise speed of over Mach 6. While there are engines that can power an aircraft at hypersonic speeds, they can't be used during takeoff and landing. So the Son of Blackbird needs an engine that can handle both. The turbine engine will provide thrust until the aircraft reaches Mach 3, then the dual-mode ramjet will take over to power the flight at hypersonic speeds. To reduce drag, the aircraft will use a single inlet nozzle for both the turbine engine and the ramjet. This new mysterious aircraft's abilities are important for major power conflicts. Its fast intelligence gathering and strike capabilities support the U.S. national defense strategy, which focuses on being ready for intense conflicts with countries like Russia and China. Its speed and stealth make it a crucial tool for strengthening air defenses. Its development shows a strategic change in U.S. military planning, moving towards more adaptable and dynamic platforms that can operate in complex future battlefields. This change aligns with the Pentagon's priorities for modernizing space, cyber, and autonomous technologies. However, stealth technology might not work well for an aircraft like this because radar-absorbing materials may not handle high temperatures. The jet's large infrared signature would also make it hard to hide. The aircraft might leave a trail detectable by radar, like the SR-71. But with its amazing speed and ability to quickly leave an area and outrun most non-hypersonic missiles, these issues are mainly theoretical. As for weaponry, bombs and conventional missiles aren't suitable for an aircraft like this, since they could collide with them after launching. And to avoid such deadly occurrences, the Son of Blackbird will be equipped with laser systems instead of other weapons. The aircraft is currently equipped with an enhanced version of the Laws, which has a power output of 350 kilowatts and is capable of cutting through 5 inches of metal with its beam. However, the main advantage of using laser weapons is their ability to be integrated within the aircraft's structure and deployed when necessary, ensuring the aerodynamic performance of the aircraft to achieve hypersonic speeds. Another intriguing feature of the SR-72 is its cockpit design that is invisible when viewed head-on, similar to the X-59 that is being developed by the Skunk Works division. Additionally, the illustration of the Son of Blackbird on Lockheed Martin's website revealed a port on the upper part of the fuselage, which is typically used for astronomical navigation systems. This design element is affectionately referred to as R2-D2 in reference to the renowned droid from the Star Wars universe. Like its predecessor, the SR-72 would also feature the most intelligent sensors and the highest quality cameras to take photos that cover 100 miles in each shot. However, there's more to the SR-72 than just its capabilities. Intriguing? Yeah, let's get into it. The SR-72 as a potential candidate for the future generation NGAD fighter of the U.S. Air Force is slated to be fitted with some of the most advanced technologies the world has seen. According to the Air Force's biennial acquisition report covering the fiscal years 2019 and 2020, the NGAD fighter would maximize its stealth features by taking an overall triangular shape, internally holding its payload, and having no distinct tail section, also known as vertical stabilizers. It is the first fighter in history to be unveiled with such a revolutionary design. Vertical stabilizers had always been required to keep an aircraft airborne until the concept of active flow control came into life in the B-2 Spirit. Active flow control uses computer brains on board to constantly adjust the flow around the aircraft to keep it airborne, similarly to how birds fly. This would result in a top-level stealth aircraft that comes at a price. The SR-72 would be capable of spotting targets, friends, and points of interest from tens of miles away, and also attacking them with precision. The sensors that make this possible come with maximum connectivity, and thus the ability to share their data with every other member of the fleet, whether it is a sixth-generation aircraft or not. In order to keep every member of the United States fleet connected to relevant information in real time, the U.S. would do away with radars mounted on aircraft and instead make use of electronically configured smart skins integrated into the aircraft's fuselage. This technique would result in increased sensor sensitivity as well as network adaptability. It would also aid with making communication easier across the fleet and ultimately improve remote control. Open architecture, laser weapons that can take out targets with unrivaled precision, a mix of high-performance guns, missiles, AETP engines capable of subsonic, transonic, and supersonic flight that cost over $6 billion to develop, loyal wingmen, top-of-the-line electronic warfare countermeasures, avionics, and communications are only some of what to expect on the fighter. But despite the already advanced features that this aircraft boasts of, decades of history have taught not only the United States, but other nations that an aircraft will always have room to be better, no matter how advanced it already is, especially with near-peer adversaries getting more and more near-peer. As a result, the SR-72 will come with an open architecture that enables it to take on new upgrades easily and quickly. All of these would combine to create an aircraft with an estimated unit cost of $1 billion and a top speed of Mach 6, the closest thing today to a truly hypersonic aircraft. There have been various speculations and reports about the SR-72's development timeline. In 2017, Lockheed Martin claimed the combined-cycle hypersonic engine was ready for real-world application. The company suggested that a single-engine demonstrator could begin flying by the early 2020s, with a target of 2030 for a twin-engine platform to enter operational service. The 2026 B-1 Lancer, a game-changing bomber, has just been revealed, promising to transform military aviation. And as global tensions rise, the arrival of this powerhouse signals a new chapter in America's military dominance. But what makes this aircraft truly unmatched? Join us as we uncover what makes the U.S. 2026 B-1 Lancer a true force to be reckoned with. The roots of the B-1A program stretch back to the early 1960s, a pivotal era for U.S. military aviation. This was shortly after a chilling wake-up call for American intelligence, the infamous downing of the Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady. That high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft was shot out of the sky by the Soviet Union, exposing vulnerabilities in U.S. aerial operations. This incident shook the U.S. intelligence community to its core and forced a major overhaul of policies, procedures, and safety protocols. In response, military planners envisioned an ambitious new bomber. The idea was to combine the immense payload and range capabilities of the legendary Boeing B-52 Stratofortress with the blistering speed of Mach 2, similar to the sleek Convair B-58 Hustler. The hope was that such a bomber would outclass anything the Soviet Union could throw at it, essentially rendering their defenses powerless. But this dream collided with a harsh reality. The SA-2 guideline missile, known to the Soviets as the S-75 a game-changing surface-to-air missile system that proved devastatingly effective. It was this very missile that brought down the U-2, shattering any illusions of invincibility in high-altitude operations. The United States quickly realized that the age of safe, high-speed, high-altitude bombing was over. In a radical pivot, military strategists decided to change the game entirely. Instead of soaring above enemy defenses, bombers would dive down low, hugging the terrain to evade radar detection. This approach, known as low-altitude penetration, took advantage of terrain masking, a clever tactic where pilots used natural features like hills, valleys, and even mountains to hide from radar. By flying low, bombers could disrupt the line of sight between enemy radar systems and the aircraft, essentially playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek. The terrain acted as a shield, making it nearly impossible for radar operators to maintain a lock on the bomber. Interestingly, this shift toward low-altitude flying began even before the U-2 incident, showing just how rapidly tactics were evolving in the face of new threats. In those early days of radar technology, one major challenge was how the systems often struggled to detect enemy aircraft, especially those flying at low altitudes. This problem was made even worse by random reflections from the ground and nearby objects, which created significant interference. These limitations greatly reduced the effectiveness of air defense systems when dealing with low-flying aircraft. Take the B-52 Stratofortress, for example. This iconic bomber was originally designed for high-altitude missions, cruising far above the reach of most enemy defenses. However, its remarkable adaptability turned it into an effective low-altitude workhorse over time. Its massive fuel capacity allowed it to fly long distances even at lower levels, while its large airframe provided ample room for advanced radar jamming equipment and deception systems. These upgrades helped it counter enemy radars and stay relevant despite its aging design. That said, the B-52 was never truly ideal for low-altitude missions. Its size and design made it less maneuverable compared to purpose-built low-flying aircraft. Recognizing this limitation, the U.S. Air Force sought a more specialized solution: a strategic penetration bomber capable of evading enemy radar by hugging the terrain. The first comprehensive study of such an aircraft, called the Subsonic Low-Altitude Bomber, was completed in 1961. This led to the conceptualization of a revolutionary design. Unlike the rugged, militaristic appearance of traditional bombers, this new design looked more like a commercial airliner, with sleek, swept-back wings, a distinctive T-shaped tail, and massive high-bypass turbofan engines for greater fuel efficiency and range. The story of the Advanced Manned Strategic Aircraft began with a predecessor project known as the URSA Extended Range Strike Aircraft. This ambitious endeavor introduced a revolutionary design feature: a variable sweep wing, allowing the aircraft to adapt its wing position during flight for better performance at different speeds. It quickly gained attention within the aviation industry, becoming a significant milestone in aircraft innovation. The URSA project set some bold goals. The aircraft needed to carry a payload of 10,000 pounds and travel more than 10,000 miles. Of this distance, nearly 2,900 miles were to be flown at low altitudes, a challenging requirement given the fuel efficiency and structural demands of such flights. By 1963, all these ambitious ideas coalesced into what became the Advanced Manned Precision Strike System, or AMPS. This program sparked intense research and development efforts, with industry giants like Boeing, General Dynamics, and North American Aviation stepping up to the challenge. A year later, the U.S. Air Force revised its requirements, giving the concept a new name and broader ambitions: the Advanced Manned Strategic Aircraft. Unlike its predecessor, AMSA prioritized high-speed, high-altitude flight capabilities, aiming to compete with the likes of the Mach 2-capable F-111 aardvark bomber already in service. This change was driven by the need for a bomber that could operate effectively in both conventional and nuclear missions, potentially outmaneuvering emerging Soviet air defenses. By this time, AMSA had become somewhat of a running joke among aviation experts, who quipped that it was America's most studied aircraft. While the project promised innovation, it also highlighted a growing debate within U.S. defense circles. Then Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara was particularly skeptical. A staunch advocate of intercontinental ballistic missiles as the backbone of America's nuclear deterrence, McNamara argued that pouring resources into developing a costly new bomber was unnecessary. After all, ICBMs could deliver similar results at a fraction of the cost and with far fewer operational risks. In 1964, the Advanced Manned Strategic Aircraft program took a significant turn when it was scaled back to focus solely on component research and development. This decision reflected broader debates about defense priorities during that era. By 1968, the program faced another setback when funding for the aircraft's development was vetoed yet again. However, everything changed when Richard Nixon became president. Shortly after taking office, Nixon reinstated the AMSA program as part of his administration's flexible response strategy. This approach was designed to provide a wide range of military options, steering away from the stark choice of launching an all-out nuclear war. Nixon's Secretary of Defense, Melvin Laird, took a closer look at the program. After a thorough review, he made some pivotal adjustments. One notable decision was reducing the number of FB-111 aircraft, which fell short of the range required for strategic missions. Instead, Laird pushed for accelerated research and development on the AMSA design, aiming to deliver a long-range bomber that could better meet the Air Force's needs. By 1969, after extensive discussions and debates, the program finally gained traction. It was officially named the B-1A project, signaling a fresh chapter in the Air Force's quest for a cutting-edge bomber. That same year, the Air Force invited aerospace giants, Boeing, General Dynamics, and North American Rockwell, to submit their proposals for what would become a new generation of strategic bombers. The process wasn't without its challenges. By 1971, after reviewing North American Rockwell's proposed designs, the Air Force identified 297 requests for design changes. These revisions range from addressing issues of non-compliance with technical specifications to making improvements that would simplify maintenance and enhance operational efficiency. Despite these hurdles, the program pressed on, laying the foundation for what would eventually become the iconic B-1 Lancer. One of the major challenges facing the B-1 bomber program in the 1970s was inflation, which drastically inflated costs. When the program was first conceived, the estimated cost of building one B-1 bomber was around $40 million in the 1970s. However, by 1975, that figure had skyrocketed to $70 million, nearly double the original estimate. This sharp increase in expenses prompted President Jimmy Carter to reevaluate the entire program. But it wasn't just the soaring costs that concerned him. Around the same time, President Carter learned about ongoing work on a groundbreaking stealth aircraft. The concept of a nearly undetectable bomber using advanced stealth technology seemed like a smarter investment to him compared to the continuing development of the B-1. On June 1977, Carter made a tough decision that he later described as one of the hardest of his presidency. He announced the cancellation of the B-1A bomber program. Instead of pouring more money into the B-1, his administration chose to focus on strengthening the U.S. nuclear deterrent through intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine-launched ballistic missiles, which were seen as more cost-effective and strategically valuable at the time. Despite the secrecy surrounding the stealth bomber program, Carter's decision allowed for the continuation of the Advanced Technology Bomber Project. This highly classified program would later give rise to the iconic B-2 Spirit, a stealth bomber that revolutionized aerial warfare with its ability to penetrate deep into enemy territory undetected. Interestingly, even though the B-1A program was officially canceled, flight testing of the prototypes continued. By the time testing ended in April 1981, 4 B-1A prototypes had completed 70 test flights, logging a total of 378 flight hours. These tests provided valuable data that would prove useful when the program was eventually revived. When President Ronald Reagan took office in 1981, he faced a similar dilemma: whether he should restart the B-1 program to quickly enhance the U.S. bomber fleet, or he should wait for the ATB project to deliver a more advanced stealth bomber. By October 1981, President Ronald Reagan made a bold announcement. The U.S. would move forward with an order for 100 B-1 bombers to fulfill the critical long-range combat aircraft role. Just a few months later, in January 1982, the U.S. Air Force took the next big step, signing 2 contracts with Rockwell International worth a hefty $2.2 billion. These contracts kicked off the development and production of this cutting-edge fleet of bombers. But this wasn't just a revival of the earlier B-1A model. It was the dawn of a reimagined aircraft, the B-1B Lancer. Engineers made significant changes to improve performance and survivability. For example, the original variable geometry air intake ramps, which were complex and heavier, were replaced with simpler fixed intake ramps. This change not only streamlined the aircraft, but also reduced its radar cross-section, making it less detectable by enemy radar systems. While this came with a slight reduction in maximum speed, the trade-off was worth it. The redesign prioritized high subsonic speeds at low altitudes, a critical capability for evading detection and enemy fire during missions. The B-1B could now cruise at Mach 0.92 at low altitudes, an improvement over the B-1A's Mach 0.85. For operations at higher altitudes, its top speed reached Mach 1.25, slightly below the supersonic capabilities of its predecessor, but still impressive for a strategic bomber. Another critical enhancement was its maximum takeoff weight, which jumped from 395,000 pounds in the B-1A to a staggering 477,000 pounds in the B-1B. This upgrade allowed the aircraft to take off fully loaded with internal fuel and still carry additional external weapons if needed. This made the B-1B not just a stealthier bomber, but also a far more versatile and capable one, perfectly suited to handle Cold War-era threats. Due to the dedicated work of Rockwell engineers, the B-1 bomber's weight increase was kept to a minimum, despite major upgrades and design changes. One key factor was the growing concern about the Soviet Union's introduction of the MiG-31, which was equipped with the advanced Zaslon radar system, along with other aircraft capable of look-down capabilities. To counter these threats, the B-1's electronic warfare suite underwent a significant modernization, improving its ability to avoid detection and jamming. The B-1's impressive appearance of the aircraft features a mixed-wing configuration, with a variable sweep wing that can adjust from 15 to 67.5 degrees. This gives it great versatility, allowing it to perform at both high and low speeds with excellent maneuverability. The B-1 also boasts unique triangular motion control keels and a distinctive crosstail design. Underneath the sleek exterior, the bomber is powered by 4 General Electric F101GE102 turbofan engines. Each engine is capable of producing 17,390 pounds of thrust, with afterburners providing an impressive 3,780 additional pounds of thrust for rapid acceleration. In 2004, during discussions about the B-1B to B-1R upgrade, there were plans to replace these engines with the more modern Pratt & Whitney F119 engines, similar to those used in the F-22 Raptor. While the idea was floated by Lockheed Martin, it never progressed to the implementation stage. The survival of the B-1 bomber, especially when compared to its contemporaries in the aviation world, can largely be credited to its relatively low radar signature, or effective dispersion area. While it's far from being a stealth aircraft like the B-2 Spirit, the B-1's design cleverly incorporates features that reduce its radar visibility. For instance, it boasts serpentine-shaped air intakes that help minimize radar reflections and extensive use of radar-absorbing materials on its fuselage. These innovations give the B-1 an ESR that is approximately 1/50 of that of the B-52, even though both aircraft are roughly the same size. To put it simply, the B-1's radar signature is closer to that of a smaller, less detectable aircraft, though it doesn't fully qualify as stealth. Dubbed the Bone, the B-1B Lancer was a formidable threat during its heyday, especially to the Soviet Union. With a staggering range of over 3,400 miles without needing refueling, the bomber could extend its reach indefinitely thanks to its in-flight refueling capability. Its payload capacity was equally impressive, capable of carrying up to 125,000 pounds of bombs, including nuclear warheads. This meant the B-1B could deliver devastating strikes anywhere on the planet with speed and precision. However, timing was not on the B-1 side. When it officially entered service in the late 1980s, the Cold War was winding down, and the collapse of the Soviet Union soon after left the bomber without its primary mission. By 1992, the dissolution of the Strategic Air Command led to the removal of the B-1's nuclear capabilities. From that point onward, the fleet was repurposed exclusively for conventional missions. But the B-1 wasn't destined to fade into irrelevance. The integration of advanced technologies, such as Lockheed Martin's Sniper Advanced Targeting Pod, gave the aircraft a second life. This upgrade allowed the B-1 to deliver precision strikes with modern smart munitions, effectively transforming it into a critical component of 21st century warfare. When the B-1B Lancer bomber made its debut in Operation Desert Fox in Iraq back in 1998, it showcased its effectiveness with what some called a dumb bomb. Despite being a relatively simple weapon, the B-1B's ability to deliver it with remarkable accuracy completely redefined its role on the battlefield. Originally designed as a Cold War-era strategic bomber, it got a fresh lease on life as a versatile close-air support aircraft, proving to be an unexpected hero in the rugged and expansive terrains of Iraq and Syria. The B-1 Lancer has played a critical role in several major military operations, including Operation Allied Force in Kosovo, Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Known for its versatility, the B-1 has delivered a wide array of conventional weapons in combat zones, with the 2,000-pound GBU-31 JDAM standing out as one of its most frequently deployed munitions. During the early stages of Operation Enduring Freedom, the B-1 demonstrated its significant contribution to aerial warfare. In just the first 6 months, a fleet of 8 B-1s dropped nearly 40% of all aerial bombs used in the campaign, including an impressive 3,900 JDAMs. These precision-guided munitions were also pivotal in Iraq, where, on April 7, 2003, B-1 bombers participated in a high-profile mission to target Saddam Hussein and his 2 sons, though the attempt was ultimately unsuccessful. The B-1's reliability improved notably during its service in Afghanistan, achieving a mission-capable rate of 79%, a significant milestone given the demanding operational environment. Originally, 100 B-1Bs were built, but by year 2000, 93 remained, with the others lost to accidents. In 2001, the Pentagon proposed placing about 1/3 of the fleet in storage as part of a cost-saving measure. This sparked intense opposition from U.S. Air National Guard officers and members of Congress, leading to the drafting of an amendment to block the cuts. The proposal was aimed at reallocating funds to modernize the remaining aircraft, focusing on upgrades like advanced computer systems to maintain the bomber's cutting-edge capabilities. In 2003, the U.S. Air Force made a strategic decision to retire 33 of its B-1B Lancer bombers, focusing its resources on keeping the rest of the fleet in top operational condition. This move followed the removal of B-1B from the Air National Guard's 2 bomb wings, allowing the military to allocate its budget more efficiently. However, the following year brought a shift in priorities. A new appropriation bill called for some of these retired aircraft to be reactivated. As a result, 7 B-1Bs were pulled out of storage, bringing the fleet back up to 67 aircraft. By July 2007, the B-1B had taken on a vital new role. The Associated Press highlighted the growing USAF presence in Iraq, where the B-1B had been reintroduced as a crucial support platform for coalition ground forces. Its versatility and endurance made it ideal for armed overwatch missions. Starting in 2008, B-1Bs were deployed over Iraq and Afghanistan, circling above combat zones to provide real-time surveillance and immediate air support. Equipped with precision-guided bombs, these bombers could strike enemy targets on demand, significantly boosting ground troops' effectiveness. In addition to combat roles, the B-1B was also at the forefront of aviation innovation. On March 19, 2008, a B-1B from Dyess Air Force Base, Texas, made history by becoming the first USAF aircraft to reach supersonic speeds using a blend of synthetic and petroleum-based fuel. This groundbreaking test, conducted over Texas and New Mexico, was part of a broader initiative to reduce the military's dependence on traditional oil supplies while exploring cleaner, more sustainable energy options. Later that year, on August 4, 2008, a B-1B equipped with the Advanced Sniper Targeting Pod completed its first combat mission. This cutting-edge technology allowed the crew to identify enemy positions with pinpoint accuracy and successfully deploy a GBU-38 guided bomb in Afghanistan. This mission underscored the bomber's evolution into a precision strike platform capable of adapting to modern warfare's demands. The B-1B continued to demonstrate its global reach and versatility. In March 2011, B-1Bs from Ellsworth Air Force Base participated in Operation Odyssey Dawn, striking undisclosed targets in Libya. One of the B-1B standout features is its massive fuel reserves, allowing it to stay airborne for hours on end. This endurance gave it the ability to circle above targets, providing real-time reconnaissance that became crucial for both headquarters and troops engaged in ground operations. The B-1B wasn't just about loitering, though. Equipped with advanced systems like the Sniper Advanced Targeting Pod, it could precisely locate and relay targeting information. Whether guided by data from ground troops or its onboard systems, it could drop thousands of pounds of explosives with pinpoint accuracy, devastating enemy positions, and supporting allied forces in some of the most challenging combat scenarios. Interestingly, the B-1B's potential to carry external weapons was part of its original design during the Cold War. However, due to the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, this capability was shelved as part of international disarmament efforts. Fast forward to recent years, this feature has been revived, enabling the aircraft to carry up to a dozen powerful external weapons. This modernized capability enhances its flexibility, ensuring it remains a critical asset in modern warfare. One of the B-1's most notable upgrades is the addition of AGM-158 Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missiles and AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missiles. These subsonic cruise missiles are designed to strike from significant distances, allowing the B-1 to neutralize targets with precision while staying out of the range of enemy defenses. The B-1's load-adaptable modular pylon system is a game-changer. It enables the aircraft to carry an impressive total of 36 cruise missiles, 12 on its external pylons, and up to 24 more inside its internal bomb bays. This capacity transforms the B-1 into a powerhouse capable of overwhelming enemy naval forces, particularly in high-stakes scenarios like a conflict in the Asia-Pacific theater, where China's growing naval presence poses a strategic challenge. The B-1 is also gearing up to carry hypersonic weapons, which are currently under active development. Hypersonic missiles, such as the Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missiles, boast remarkable capabilities, including operational ranges of approximately 1,000 miles and mind-boggling speeds of up to Mach 8, 8 times the speed of sound. These missiles are so advanced that they can outpace most existing defense systems, making them nearly impossible to intercept. What makes the B-1 particularly unique is its ability to carry up to 12 hypersonic missiles externally, a feature that significantly boosts its firepower. This combination of advanced cruise and hypersonic missiles positions the B-1 Lancer as a crucial asset in any future military campaign, especially in deterring or countering threats from the People's Republic of China in the increasingly contested waters of the Asia-Pacific region. Originally, this list also included the AGM-138A Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, a key component of the Aero Hypersonic Missiles program. However, the U.S. Air Force canceled the development of these hypersonic missiles on March 2023 due to a combination of budget constraints and shifting priorities. Despite the cancellation, the U.S. Air Force still has a remarkable and potent conventional weapon system in its arsenal. If the Air Force manages to equip its remaining 45 B-1 Lancer bombers with the necessary missiles and secure sufficient government funding, it will wield one of the most powerful conventional weapons combinations ever seen. Just 5 B-1 Lancer bombers, crewed by only 15 people, can destroy 6 warships with a combined crew of more than 3,000 sailors. This is an extraordinary efficiency ratio, one that rivals even nuclear weapons in its destructive potential. The B-1 is capable of carrying a wide range of conventional bombs and missiles, including precision-guided munitions, which can be launched from great distances. The B-1's massive payload capacity and ability to fly at high speeds make it a key component of America's airstrike capabilities. And while this kind of power is formidable, it's important to note that even the most advanced aircraft, like the B-1, will eventually need to be replaced. In 2032, the Pentagon plans to begin gradually replacing the B-1 with the cutting-edge B-21 Raider stealth bomber produced by Northrop Grumman. The B-21 is designed with stealth features that allow it to penetrate even the most sophisticated enemy air defense systems. It's intended to be more efficient, cost-effective, and adaptable to future technological needs. Despite this, there's a strong belief among military analysts that the B-1 Lancer could remain relevant far beyond its expected retirement date. With additional upgrades to its avionics, weapon systems, and engine performance, it could continue to perform critical roles in the U.S. Air Force's missions until at least 2040. The B-1's ability to carry 75,000 pounds of bombs and missiles, more than any other U.S. bomber, is one of the reasons it remains so valuable. It can be equipped with a variety of weapons, including joint direct attack munitions, which give it precision strike capabilities, and it can carry out strategic and tactical bombing missions with exceptional effectiveness. Furthermore, despite its age, the B-1 has been continuously upgraded to maintain its relevance in the modern battlefield, with advanced radar, electronic warfare systems, and more. China just shook the skies. Since the unveiling of the White Emperor, comparisons to the US's NGAD and F-22 have sparked intense debate. Analysts are scrutinizing every detail, from speed and stealth to firepower, as the battle lines in the race for air dominance are clearly drawn. How does the White Emperor truly measure up against these American fighters? And could it tip the balance of power in the skies for years to come? Join us as we compare the capabilities of two sixth-generation air fighters that are bound to change the future of aerial warfare. As tensions between Washington and Beijing continue to escalate, the global race to field sixth-generation fighter aircraft has reached a critical stage, with both nations pouring immense resources into developing platforms designed to dominate the skies and achieve strategic air superiority. The U.S. Air Force's Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD, is projected to set a new standard when it enters service over the next decade, boasting a combination of manned and unmanned systems, cutting-edge stealth, advanced adaptive engines, and integrated sensor networks. On the other hand, the People's Liberation Army Air Force is constructing its own next-generation fighter, dubbed the White Emperor, which was unveiled recently at the Zhuhai Air Show. According to state-run reports, this ambitious platform is intended to operate not only in the atmosphere, but potentially in near space, showing China's push for strategic flexibility and technological prestige. While some of these claims may appear exaggerated, the rapid pace of Beijing's military modernization, combined with its expanding aerospace capabilities, makes the program a serious point of concern for U.S. military planners. Publicly available images and video footage reveal a fighter with large internal missile bays, capable of carrying increased ordnance without compromising stealth, and a delta-shaped aerodynamic design that emphasizes both speed and maneuverability. Analysts, including the Bulgarian military, have noted the platform's carefully engineered pointed nose, smooth body contours, and multi-layered cockpit canopy, all optimized to reduce radar and infrared signatures, signaling the PLAAF's focus on next-generation stealth. The aircraft's design is said to emphasize a low observable profile while maximizing high-speed maneuverability, allowing it to survive and dominate in contested airspace against advanced fifth-generation and future sixth-generation adversaries. Central to its agility are advanced thrust vectoring engines and a restructured fuselage, which theoretically grant the fighter super maneuverability similar to what the F-22 Raptor can achieve. Such extreme directional responsiveness would be essential in high-stakes air-to-air engagements, enabling pilots to evade missiles, counter hostile fighters, and execute precision strikes under conditions where split-second reaction times could determine the outcome of a battle. The fighter is also reportedly designed with an expanded internal weapons bay, capable of carrying a variety of munitions for multiple mission profiles. This flexibility would allow a single aircraft to switch seamlessly between air-to-air combat, air-to-ground strikes, and even near-space operations, giving the People's Liberation Army Air Force a highly adaptable and survivable tool for both traditional and emerging battle domains. Further distinguishing the White Emperor from its predecessors is the inclusion of directed energy weapons, most notably lasers. These systems, integrated into the airframe, are likely intended to provide simultaneous multi-target engagement, allowing the aircraft to neutralize multiple threats in rapid succession. This capability exemplifies next-generation combat thinking, where advanced sensors, stealth, and precision energy weapons work in concert to provide a decisive advantage. According to reports, including analysis from China Arms, test flights of the White Emperor suggest that the platform is not merely theoretical. It has demonstrated the potential to operate across multiple domains. The aircraft is envisioned to engage in air-to-air duels, precision strikes against ground targets, and missions in near-space environments, where conventional fighters cannot operate effectively. The aerodynamic design also plays a critical role in the fighter's performance. Sleek aerodynamic lines reduce drag while improving stealth, and the multi-layered, reflective minimizing cockpit canopy likely shields pilots from detection. Delta-shaped wings and advanced control surfaces further enhance speed, stability, and responsiveness at supersonic velocities, making the aircraft difficult to track, target, or intercept. Internally, avionics, sensors, and weapon systems are integrated into a unified network, allowing real-time data fusion and rapid decision-making during complex missions. This convergence of stealth, propulsion, and energy weapons is intended to produce a fighter capable of operating independently or in concert with unmanned systems, providing both redundancy and force multiplication. Artificial intelligence plays a central role in the White Emperor, elevating it beyond the capabilities of even the most advanced fifth-generation fighters. This next-generation system is said to process vast streams of real-time data, assess incoming threats, and execute tactical maneuvers without requiring constant pilot input. Such an approach opens the door for both semi-autonomous and fully autonomous missions, where the human role could shift from direct control to mission supervision. This is not just theory. A similar capability has already been demonstrated by the United States Air Force with the experimental X-62 Vista, which showcased how artificial intelligence could assume control of a combat jet in live environments. By following this model, the White Emperor may mark the point where autonomy moves from experimental programs into operational fighter platforms. For the pilot, the benefit is transformative. Instead of being overwhelmed with multiple information streams in the chaos of aerial combat, the onboard systems powered by artificial intelligence deliver immediate, actionable intelligence. Threats can be detected, analyzed, and prioritized in fractions of a second, allowing the pilot to respond faster than human reflexes alone would ever permit. In this sense, the human operator becomes the mission director, relying on the jet's artificial intelligence to execute rapid maneuvers, select optimal weapons, and even coordinate with allied aircraft or unmanned systems flying alongside. Such AI-driven situational awareness effectively allows the White Emperor to fight as a central node in a vast digital battle network. The Aviation Industry Corporation of China has clearly positioned this technology not as an optional feature, but as a core design philosophy. The Indian Defense Research Wing underscored this shift, noting that AVIC's design prioritizes artificial intelligence not just for tactical maneuvering, but as an integral component of multi-unit, networked combat. In practice, this means the White Emperor could seamlessly integrate with other fighters, drones, or command and control systems, exchanging data in real time and executing coordinated strikes across multiple domains. It is a concept that mirrors and perhaps seeks to outpace the United States Air Force's vision for its own next-generation air dominance program, where manned and unmanned systems are designed to operate as a single cohesive force. By integrating this level of autonomy, China is signaling its intent to compete not only in the development of stealth, propulsion, and weapons technologies, but also in the field of digital warfare. The White Emperor could potentially reduce the need for continuous human oversight in high-risk missions, sending unmanned or semi-autonomous units deep into contested airspace where survival odds for a pilot would be minimal. This possibility represents both a technological leap and a strategic shift, moving warfare into an era where decisions are increasingly made by machine intelligence guided by human objectives. The White Emperor is built to be far more than a single-purpose aircraft. Its designers envisioned a machine capable of adapting to nearly any role on the battlefield. This fighter is intended for multi-role missions, able to take on air-to-air engagements, air-to-ground strikes, and even operations in what China claims are near-space environments. Embracing this range, it attempts to cover multiple mission types with one highly adaptable platform. Such flexibility reflects China's broader ambition to field aircraft that are not only powerful but also versatile enough to meet unpredictable combat demands. A major reason for this adaptability lies in the White Emperor's modular systems. Unlike older aircraft that require significant modifications for new missions, the White Emperor can be configured quickly for different combat scenarios. This means the jet can transition from conducting deep strike missions to performing air superiority patrols with minimal delay. In practical terms, this versatility allows China's Air Force to deploy fewer aircraft while still maintaining coverage across a wide variety of missions. By reducing logistical strain and increasing readiness, the White Emperor strengthens China's ability to conduct long, sustained campaigns without exhausting its resources. Equally important is the emphasis on maintenance. A VIC designed for White Emperor with low maintenance requirements in mind. Traditional fourth-generation jets often suffer from long downtimes after missions, but the White Emperor promises high availability with minimal turnaround time. For prolonged operations, where every minute matters, this capability ensures the aircraft can stay in the fight longer and return to the skies faster. It is not just about performance during combat, but also about endurance over the course of days, weeks, or even months of deployment. Where the White Emperor truly shows its futuristic intent is in its networked warfare capabilities. The jet is not meant to fight alone. Instead, it is designed to integrate seamlessly into China's future combat networks, linking up with other aircraft, ground units, and even naval forces. Such interconnectivity transforms the jet from a single war machine into a node in a vast, coordinated system. This concept mirrors the approach of Western programs, such as the United States Air Force's collaborative combat aircraft initiatives, where drones and manned jets work in harmony. By being able to communicate in real time, the aircraft expands tactical options on the battlefield. Pilots can receive live data from drones, pass targeting information to ships, or coordinate with ground-based missile systems. The effect is a wider, more unified battlefield picture, enabling swifter decision-making and more precise strikes. The South China Morning Post emphasized this point by noting, "The jet's networked capability allows coordinated actions with diverse units, reinforcing China's bid for air superiority." Artificial intelligence plays a central role in this networked vision. The White Emperor's onboard systems are designed to process massive amounts of data in real time, filtering and prioritizing information for the pilot, or even handling coordination autonomously. When combined with drones and ground units, this creates a combat environment where China's forces can act faster than their opponents, tightening the decision loop in their favor. Taken together, the White Emperor's operational flexibility and networked capabilities highlight China's determination to dominate future battlefields. By merging adaptability, endurance, and interconnectivity, the aircraft is presented as a cornerstone of a larger vision, one where Chinese forces can seamlessly coordinate across air, land, and sea, maintaining the upper hand in complex, high-intensity conflicts. Unlike traditional fighters, the White Emperor is often described as more than an aircraft, standing somewhere between a combat jet and an aerospace vehicle. Its rumored ability to operate at near-space altitudes marks a fundamental shift in how air dominance might be defined in the future. Reports have emphasized that China's defense industry wants to achieve a qualitative leap that challenges existing superiority dynamics. According to the National Interest, the White Emperor series could reshape contested airspace by bolstering China's ability to project power far beyond its borders. If realized, such an aircraft would not merely match foreign developments, but could redefine them, forcing adversaries to prepare for combat environments extending into the stratosphere. Although details remain scarce, particularly in English-language sources, speculation paints a picture of extraordinary performance. The White Emperor is believed to be capable of reaching top speeds near Mach 5, translating to almost 6,000 kilometers per hour and covering operational ranges beyond 4,500 miles. Its ceiling is claimed to extend past 100,000 feet, placing it within near-space territory where traditional air defenses lose much of their effectiveness. These numbers alone, if proven accurate, would mark the White Emperor as a once-in-a-generation leap in aerial engineering, setting it apart not only from fifth-generation fighters like the F-35 or the J-20, but also from projects aimed at the sixth generation. The role of artificial intelligence is perhaps the most revolutionary aspect. Instead of simply assisting the pilot with navigation or weapons targeting, the White Emperor is expected to function with full autonomy when required. Real-time decision-making, data assessment, and threat prioritization could all be handled by onboard algorithms, giving the jet an option to operate as an unmanned system. Such autonomy would not only reduce risk to human pilots, but also allow the aircraft to push beyond human physiological limits, especially in high-speed, high-altitude engagements. In parallel, its weapon loadout, which is rumored to include hypersonic missiles and directed energy lasers, would give it the capability to strike with both overwhelming force and precision. Another significant factor is the promise of minimal maintenance requirements. If China's designers succeed in reducing logistical burdens, the White Emperor would not only be more powerful than many of its rivals, but also more available, spending less time grounded and more time deployed on missions. This would give the PLAAF a considerable operational advantage in a drawn-out conflict, where rapid redeployment and sustained pressure are key. Much like the NGAD fighter, the White Emperor is expected to operate alongside unmanned systems, with loyal wingman drones serving as expendable extensions of the manned aircraft's operational reach. In the NGAD framework, collective combat aircraft, or CCA drones, accompany the main fighter, reducing the need for larger quantities of manned aircraft and lowering program costs while providing unprecedented battlefield flexibility. The projected timeline for China's sixth-generation fighter calls for operational deployment by 2035, which means a functional design must emerge before the end of this decade, placing significant pressure on designers and engineers. The United States, however, appears further along in the program, integrating advanced adaptive engines, AESA radars, and networked sensor fusion to create a versatile and stealthy aerial platform capable of dominating contested airspace. On the 21st of March, 2025, President Trump announced that Boeing had been selected to build the United States Air Force's sixth-generation fighter to meet the NGAD requirement, revealing that the aircraft would be known as the F-47. The previous year had seen dramatic shifts in America's two next-generation air dominance programs. Budget pressures forced a re-evaluation of priorities, pausing the source selection process for NGAD. The Air Force was instructed to reconsider not only the capabilities it required from the crewed fighter at the heart of the NGAD system, but also whether such an aircraft remained necessary at all. Simultaneously, the United States Navy's F/A-XX effort, often also called NGAD, received renewed attention, clarifying earlier misconceptions that the program had been halted entirely. New strategic challenges quickly emerged. Potential adversaries, particularly China, sought ways to deny the U.S. and its allies the freedom to conduct operations in their preferred manner. China's response took the form of the Anti-Access Area Denial Strategy, or A2/AD, designed to prevent American forces from entering key operational areas and to limit their freedom of action within those zones. By using long-range air defenses, advanced missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, and layered detection systems, China aims to push enemy aircraft to more distant bases, complicate refueling and battle management, and disrupt operational tempo. It is important to note that A2/AD does not make airspace impenetrable. Instead, it forces adversaries to operate under constraints, slowing or redirecting their actions and preventing deep strikes. In parallel, China has sought to achieve significant mass in its forces, challenging the numerical advantage the United States once enjoyed. Andrew Hunter, the outgoing acquisition executive for the U.S. Air Force, acknowledged the competitive pressures, noting that China could beat the U.S. to the punch. He added that while the U.S. may eventually possess superior capability, the U.S. certainly has no time to lose. Current American fighters, such as the F-35A, have a combat radius of only 590 nautical miles, or 1,093 kilometers, while the F-22A has an even smaller radius when relying on supercruise. Both aircraft would need to refuel within approximately 500 nautical miles, or 926 kilometers, of their targets, a requirement that places tankers in vulnerable positions, effectively leaving them as sitting ducks under modern A2/AD conditions. This evolving environment demonstrates why NGAD, combined with advanced air refueling and networked operations, is critical. Without such innovations, U.S. and allied air forces would struggle to penetrate adversary defenses, sustain prolonged missions, or maintain the operational freedom necessary to secure decisive air superiority in the decades ahead. The strategic and technological imperatives driving NGAD reflect a profound shift in how aerial warfare will be conducted against peer adversaries. Another uncomfortable reality is that the United States Air Force can barely afford a next-generation air dominance fighter with a unit cost of approximately $300 million within the timeframe the aircraft will be required. This is unusual for a service that has historically been the best-funded Air Force in the world. Currently, the U.S. Air Force is prioritizing the two legs of the nuclear triad for which it is responsible, the B-21 A Raider bomber and the LGM-35A Sentinel, also known as the ground-based strategic deterrent. Both programs consume a massive portion of the budget, and with the Sentinel program's cost nearly doubling to just under $141 billion, there is little room left for an expensive NGAD manned fighter. This budget constraint, rather than any change in threat perception, drives the push to reduce NGAD costs. Ultimately, a high-capability, long-range NGAD core manned fighter is essential, even if it comes at a high cost. Only about 200 units are expected, and none will likely be exported, limiting economies of scale. Proposals for lighter NGAD variants would augment, rather than replace, the main platform. The Air Force has long considered dual versions, one optimized for long-range, heavy payloads in the Indo-Pacific, and another for shorter-range operations in Europe. The vision includes a clean-sheet design with open mission systems capable of rapid software updates, ensuring the NGAD remains a high-end fighter while allowing smaller, lower-cost aircraft to handle day-to-day missions, preserving the core platform for high-intensity operations. Israel has demonstrated its military capacity time after time. As evident in the several conflicts that this country is involved in, Israel has always had the upper hand, and that might not change anytime soon. One key reason behind this strength lies in the steady flow of advanced weaponry from its strongest ally, the United States. The United States is by far the biggest provider of weapons to Israel. In the year 2023, nearly 70% of all weapons that Israel imported came from the U.S. The weapons that Israel got from the United States have been deeply involved in its recent military operations, especially against Hamas and Hezbollah. According to the think tank's report, by the end of 2023, Israel had received thousands of guided bombs and missiles from the U.S. In January 2024, Israel also got advanced F-35 and F-15 fighter jets from the U.S. A detailed analysis by CNN found many cases where weapons made in the U.S. were used during the war. Some of these attacks reportedly killed civilians. In one of the most recent incidents, CNN discovered that 2,000-pound bombs made in America were likely used in an airstrike that killed a top Hezbollah leader, Hassan Nasrallah, in Beirut. Apart from weapons, the U.S. also supports Israel financially. Since the year 1948, the U.S. government has given Israel over $130 billion in total funding. This massive support has helped strengthen Israel's military over many years. In 2019, the U.S. and Israel signed a new agreement called a Memorandum of Understanding. In that agreement, the U.S. promised to give Israel $3.3 billion every year through the Foreign Military Financing Program. On top of that, Israel would also get another $500 million each year for missile defense systems. This close relationship between the U.S. and Israel means that American-made weapons and money play a big part in Israel's ability to fight wars and carry out military strikes. The U.S. has long been Israel's strongest ally, and this support continues to shape the way Israel responds to threats in the region. However, the use of U.S.-made weapons in attacks that harm civilians has raised serious concerns. Human rights groups and media investigations, like those done by CNN, have pointed out the risks involved in such strong military support. These findings have led to more questions about how U.S. weapons are being used and whether more checks are needed. Still, the United States shows no signs of slowing down its support for Israel. The steady flow of arms and money continues, with both governments defending their strong partnership. For now, this alliance remains one of the most powerful in the world, both in terms of military cooperation and political ties. Adding to its growing defense innovations, the The United States recently made major headway by confirming the rumors about the SR-72, a hypersonic aircraft that could reshape the future of aerial warfare. But to understand the significance of this breakthrough, we need to look back at its legendary predecessor. When the SR-71 Blackbird first flew in the early days of the Cold War, it was unlike anything the world had seen. This sleek black aircraft was far ahead of its time. It could fly faster and higher than any other plane, making it nearly impossible for enemies to catch or shoot down. Because of its unmatched speed and power, many people believed the US military would never retire it without building something even better to replace it. So when the Blackbird was retired in the 1980s, rumors quickly spread that a secret new aircraft must be in the works. For years, there was no official word. Then in 2013, Lockheed Martin finally revealed the concept of the SR-72, a new, more advanced aircraft designed to follow in the footsteps of the Blackbird. While the announcement was new, reports suggested that Lockheed had already been working on early designs for years, keeping the project under wraps. This wasn't surprising, as many military aircraft projects start in total secrecy to avoid giving away plans to rivals. The original SR-71 Blackbird was able to fly at speeds over Mach 3, which is 3 times the speed of sound. This incredible speed was made possible by its powerful Pratt & Whitney J58 engine. Unlike most jet engines, the J58 was built to run for long periods using its afterburner, a feature that adds extra fuel to increase thrust and speed. Most engines use their afterburner for short bursts, but the J58 was different. It was the first engine ever approved for flying at Mach 3 for extended periods by the US Air Force. One of the most impressive parts of the J58 engine was its smart design. It had special nozzles that could change shape to control the air coming into the engine. This allowed the air to go straight into the afterburner, instead of through other parts of the engine, which made the aircraft even faster. This smart use of airflow and heat is one of the reasons the SR-71 could reach such incredible speeds without falling apart or losing control. The SR-71 could fly over enemy territory, take pictures from the edge of space, and leave before anyone could respond. Even decades later, the Blackbird still holds records for speed and altitude. The promise of the SR-72 is to build on that legacy, using even more advanced engines and technology. Back in 2017, Orlando Carvalho, who was then the executive vice president of aeronautics at Lockheed Martin, dropped a few thrilling hints about what's coming. He didn't share much, but what he did say sent a shockwave through the defense world. According to Carvalho, the Skunk Works team in Palmdale, California, is doubling down on our commitment to speed. Hypersonics is like stealth. It's a disruptive technology. He even hinted that the aircraft could operate at speeds 2 to 3 times faster than the Blackbird, meaning it could fly at more than 5 times the speed of sound. That's Mach 5 and beyond hypersonic territory. Though much of the SR-72's design remains classified, analysts and aviation experts have tried to piece together what it might be capable of. If Lockheed Martin truly manages to create a working version of the SR-72, it would be nearly untouchable by today's air defenses. No radar system or missile would be able to track or stop it in time. It would fly in, gather intelligence, or strike targets, and be gone before anyone even noticed it was there. That kind of speed and stealth would make it a game changer in future wars. Some believe that the SR-72 will be unmanned and powered by a new type of hybrid engine, something that can switch between jet and rocket power. This would allow the plane to take off like a regular aircraft and then quickly jump to hypersonic speed. It would be fast, agile, and deadly. And because it's still in development, it's likely being tested in secret locations, possibly even flying high above our heads without anyone knowing. Experts also believe that it will use a special engine known as a turbine-based combined cycle, or TBCC. This engine combines a regular jet engine used for flying at subsonic and supersonic speeds with a scramjet, which kicks in at hypersonic levels. This mix would allow the aircraft to reach speeds of Mach 6, which means flying around 2 kilometers every second. Reaching hypersonic speed, anything above Mach 5, offers a massive advantage in modern warfare. Traditionally, aircraft relied on stealth design to avoid radar detection. This involves shaping the plane and using special materials to reduce its radar signature. But the SR-72's extreme speed offers a different kind of stealth. It can simply outrun threats rather than sneak past them. At this level of speed, surface-to-air missile systems would barely have time to react. By the time radar detects the aircraft, it could already be on its way out of the target zone. Enemy defenses would be left scrambling, giving the jet a major upper hand. It could fly into places that slower jets, even those built with advanced stealth features, would not dare enter. Moving at around 2 kilometers per second means the SR-72 could cross huge distances in minutes. That gives it the power to perform critical missions, like surveillance or quick strikes, before an enemy even realizes it's there. No current aircraft in service can match that level of performance. Experts believe that if a test version, called a demonstrator, can fly smoothly at Mach 6 using the new TBCC technology, it could spark a global race to build hypersonic combat aircraft. According to the Royal United Services Institute, a respected military think tank, this would be similar to the international race to develop fifth-generation stealth fighters, which has already seen fierce competition between the United States, Russia, China, and India. If this race begins, countries across the world may rush to create their own versions of hypersonic jets, just like they did with stealth aircraft. And it wouldn't just be about speed. These new planes could also carry powerful sensors, weapons, and intelligence systems, changing the way future wars are fought. While it could easily outrun today's defensive missile systems, the technology aimed at shooting down fast-moving aircraft is catching up quickly, and hypersonic jets are no longer guaranteed safe passage. The Royal United Services Institute, a respected defense think tank, explains, certainly a cruise speed of Mach 6 at operating altitudes of around 100,000 feet would make the SR-72 extremely challenging to intercept using traditional surface-to-air missile systems. However, they warn that the growing strength of anti-ballistic missile technology might eventually close that gap. For instance, the Raytheon Standard Missile 3 has already proven that it can destroy not only ballistic missiles, but also satellites orbiting close to Earth. These missiles aren't even meant for anti-aircraft duties, yet their ability to intercept targets flying at extremely high altitudes and closing speeds over 22,000 miles per hour is a serious wake-up call. If these systems continue evolving, then by the time the SR-72 enters service, likely around the year 2030, new SAM systems might be built with similar capabilities, making even hypersonic jets vulnerable. That said, the SR-72 still fills a massive gap in America's military playbook. When the legendary SR-71 Blackbird was retired back in 1998, the United States lost the power to conduct high-speed, deep-penetration reconnaissance missions. No other aircraft could soar across entire countries in just minutes while staying far above enemy radar or missile systems. Satellites are helpful, but they can't always be moved or redirected quickly in real time, and their predictable orbits limit surprise surveillance. A plane like the SR-72 would restore America's ability to collect fast, actionable intelligence during emergencies or conflicts. Besides reconnaissance, the SR-72 could potentially carry advanced weapons. Its hypersonic speed means it can launch attacks before an enemy even knows it's coming. This would be game-changing, especially in regions like the Indo-Pacific, where fast strikes could make the difference between controlling or losing key airspace. But raw speed has its limits. Flying at Mach 6 is great until someone figures out how to shoot you down anyway. And as the defense world has shown time and time again, any advantage is temporary. Technology never stands still. What's secure today might be exposed tomorrow. By the time the SR-72 is fully operational, its enemies may already be developing missiles designed specifically to hunt it down. Still, it's not all about weapons and dodging missiles. The real power of the SR-72 may lie in what it represents. A leap into the future. It's not just faster than anything else, it's the next step in air warfare. A jet that flies at nearly 2 kilometers per second, cruising above 100,000 feet, and racing across skies most aircraft will never touch is a powerful symbol. If it works as planned, the SR-72 won't just be a replacement for the past, it will redefine how nations think about speed, reach, and air dominance. The strategic reconnaissance. 71 Blackbirds set breathtaking records that still remain unbeaten. It reached a top speed of over 2,100 miles per hour and soared to an altitude of more than 85,000 feet. These achievements made it one of the fastest and highest flying aircraft ever built. While satellites have now taken over most of its surveillance duties, they follow fixed orbits, making them less flexible than a piloted aircraft that can be deployed quickly and redirected as needed. This is where the potential of the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 comes in. Though still in the early stages, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 is being developed as a hypersonic reconnaissance and strike aircraft. Designed by Lockheed Martin, it aims to travel at speeds around Mach 6, or roughly 4,600 miles per hour. If successful, this jet would far surpass its predecessor in both speed and mission capability, able to gather intelligence and possibly strike targets before enemies even realize it's there. Lockheed Martin believes this ambitious plan is within reach, despite the many technological challenges it presents. The company has shown confidence that with the right innovations, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 could become a reality. Reports in the past suggested the aircraft might be ready by the year 2030. While this is still just a projection, it hints at how serious the defense industry is about reviving high-speed manned surveillance missions. If Lockheed Martin manages to stay on schedule and develop this new jet, it would mark a major breakthrough in modern aviation. The creation of such a hypersonic aircraft would not just be an engineering marvel, it could also reshape military strategy. It would offer unmatched speed and flexibility for missions that require quick decisions and responses. Unlike traditional stealth aircraft that rely heavily on radar evasion, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 would focus on speed as its main defense. Its high altitude and rapid pace would make it extremely difficult to intercept. And even if missile systems improve by the time the aircraft is operational, flying faster than most missiles could still keep it safe in contested airspace. Despite being in its conceptual phase, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 has caught the attention of defense experts, aviation enthusiasts, and global militaries. Its potential to deliver real-time intelligence, conduct precision strikes, and avoid enemy defenses could fill a gap left by the retirement of the Strategic Reconnaissance 71 in 1998. That aircraft's retirement left the United States without a fast response surveillance tool that could sweep over vast areas in minutes. Whether the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 becomes a working aircraft by the early 20s or not, the technology behind it is already sparking conversations and investments. If built, it could define the future of air, reconnaissance, and strike capability for the next generation. If Israel were to acquire the Strategic Reconnaissance 72, its Air Force and intelligence capabilities would take a dramatic leap forward. Flying at hypersonic speeds and extreme altitudes, this aircraft could slip into hostile airspace, photograph troop movements or missile sites, and be clear of danger before radar systems even register its presence. That kind of real-time intelligence would let Israeli commanders see an unfolding threat as it happens, enabling faster, more precise decisions and reducing the fog of war. Beyond spying, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 could carry smart munitions to strike critical enemy infrastructure with almost no warning. Imagine a jet that swoops in, releases a precision weapon against a missile launcher or a command bunker, and races back out before defenses have a chance to react. In confrontations with non-state groups like Hezbollah or more sophisticated foes, those hit-and-run raids would be devastating, forcing adversaries to disperse forces or keep key assets hidden at all times. The psychological effect would be just as important as the physical strikes. When potential enemies know that Israel possesses an aircraft no one can catch, they become more cautious about massing troops or launching surprise attacks. This builds a powerful layer of deterrence because the cost of provocation suddenly rises. Any hostile action could be observed and punished with virtually no warning. Yet the introduction of such a fast jet would also spark countermeasures. Neighboring states would invest heavily in anti-hypersonic defenses, from faster interceptor missiles to space-based tracking sensors or directed energy weapons. Israel, in turn, would need secure hangars and rapid response maintenance to keep its fleet safe on the ground and ready to fly. As each side chases new technologies, a fresh regional arms race could emerge, one focused on sheer speed and instantaneous response. In future conflicts, the Strategic Reconnaissance 72 would likely shape Israel's opening moves on the battlefield. Rapid intelligence gathering and pinpoint strikes in the first hours could disable an enemy's command and control, communications, or missile batteries long before their forces can mobilize. Over time, military planners would design doctrines around hyper-rapid campaigns, where victory could hinge on who can see and strike first. Although no aircraft is invincible, adding the strategic reconnaissance 72 to Israel's arsenals would redefine air power in the region. It would turbocharge surveillance and strike missions, strengthen deterrence, and force everyone, friends and foes alike, to rethink how wars are fought and prevented. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.